over the years here, and hundreds are on hand this weekend for another Parkette's Invitational. Now, round two, or rotation two in our event, and Randy Stageberg about to take her try on the balance beam.
Balance beam, always one of the most difficult events for an athlete.
What kind of upper body strength does that take, Shannon?
Well, it's incredible, and it's nice to see some of the athletes performing these planche moves that have to be held for 2 seconds. It shows strength, and it shows beautiful artistry.
Really? The upper body strength is often overlooked, I think.
Right here, back handspring, full twisting somersault. And I know she's going to get 5/10 deduction for the fall, but it's great that she's trying these difficult skills at this point in her career.
Right, why not, right? Try the aggressive, big-time moves now.
Absolutely. You have to throw these skills if you're going to get better at them, especially in competition when you tend to get a little bit more nervous and try to hold back a little bit. But she's going to learn from this experience and move on and remember it for the next competition.
And we'll see how she recovers.
Right now, solid in her recovery. Nice, solid front aerial. And from this angle, you can really see how skinny that balance beam is.
What, about 4 inches? 4 inches, right?
4 inches wide, yes. Of course, each gymnast only has 1.5 minutes to perform all of the skills that need to be performed throughout the routine. You can see she looks a little bit rushed in each of her skills. And here her dismount, handspring, double pike dismount. A little low, but she pulls it around to get to her feet.
Very aggressive routine by Randy Stageberg. Didn't quite pull it off. The judges scored it as an 8.95. Our first look at Julie Cotter, another of the hometown Parkettes, as she gets started on uneven parallel bars.
This is nice so far. She starts with a pirouette right into a reverse hecht. And we're looking for the execution. Right here you can see split legs, a little bit knees here and there. But she's throwing some big skills. Coming up on the dismount, nice high double tuck dismount, stuck the landing. A good routine, a little bit easier dismount than some of the athletes are performing.
Julie finished third all around in her age group last year here at the Parkette Invitational. Her score on the bar is 9.4. She moves up in age to the 15 through 16, a very strong division. And speaking of which, our first look at Brittany Ramsey, a veteran competitor now, competing in the 15 through 16 age group.
First in the all-around at last year's Parkette Invitational, opening up with a huge tuck full in. She is such a powerful athlete. She is not taking too much time in between her first and second pass, coming back with a nice high double layout. It's just amazing to me at this young of an age, these girls are throwing such difficult skills.
She's won a number of events, even though they're sort of, preliminary on the road to elite. But is that a good indication? You get used to winning, coming through in the clutch, so to speak.
It's always nice to win, and you do, I think, to some degree, get used to winning, get used to coming through when it counts. And that's a good thing to get used to, but it's also a good thing to have those mistakes early on, so you get used to getting over those mistakes and being able to move past them.
Brittany also finished first in the 2005 Hills Classic all around, as Shannon mentioned, and here at the Parkettes in her age division, the 14-year-olds a year ago.
And Brittany's doing terrific on tumbling. A few minor errors here and there on her leaps and jumps that she has to perform in between the tumbling moves. Right here, closing with a nice high double full. Overall, a very nice routine.
Very artistic finish for Brittany Ramsey.
Right here, we're going to see one of her tumbling passes, a round off whip back, handspring, nice high 2.5 twist, and it's amazing to me, she has plenty of room left towards the corner.
And the scoring, they liked it. 9.25 for Brittany Ramsey, 9.525, pardon me. Still to come, more from Rotation 2. The Parkette's Invitational. We'll be back with more from Allentown. Stay with us. Parkette's Invitational, about 35 miles north of the city of Philadelphia in the Lehigh Valley, the home to one of the great gymnastic clubs in all of America. We continue in the second rotation, round 2, if you will, of our gymnastics competition, and no couch.
Nice jump over mount. Starting off with a front giant, right to a straddle Jaeger, directly to an overshoot.
Noel finished 6th all around here a year ago.
Nice handstands. Judges looking for those handstands all the way vertical. Double front dismount, a blind landing, very difficult. Takes one step backwards for a 10th deduction. And again, just, little knee flickers here and there throughout the routine. Right there, you can see the right knee
flicker, a little bend in the leg?
Just a little bit.
Noel Couch completing the 14-year-old group, 9.175 on the bars. This is the second rotation, our second look at it. Morgan Evans out of Norfolk, Virginia. Very strong competitor. I mean that literally. Very athletic.
She was second on this event at the Mexican International Invitational. Very good beam worker. Switch leap, tourgite half, extremely difficult leap to throw in there. A lot of risk because you're doing a lot of twisting on that move, and of course there's going to be the 5/10 deduction. Nice front aerial to what's called a sheep jump, where you have to lose sight of the balance beam. Back handspring layout, step out. You can see how perfectly dead on she was.
I like that line looking down the beam. You see how narrow a trail they must follow. Yeah,
and you don't get to see that a lot. And normally the judges are seeing from the side, the camera angles from the side. But this is a great
there
view.
Again, yeah.
Front summy very solid. She's come back very composed from that fall. Switch ring. A lot of difficulty in these moves. Closing with a nice high double tuck, sticking that landing. Great way to finish up.
Look back at Morgan Evans.
Right here you can see how difficult it is. She just wasn't able to keep her body above the beam.
And taking that into account, she scores just 8.95 on the balance beam. First look now at Mingyao Zhao out of the Boston area and the Brestians Gymnastics Club. A rising star in her age category.
She recently qualified to the Elite International level. Big vault from such a tiny little girl. Gets a lot of lift off the horse. Right here, round off, blocking off the vault. Nice straight up and over. Full twist. This vault isn't as difficult as some of the previous vaults that we've seen. So when you have less difficulty, you need to focus on making sure that you're not having any errors on the landings, as we see there, and that's going to be a touchdown.
Coach Brestian in the background there, talking with his young star, and the 14-year-olds will probably take the first vault for her score.
But you can catch the photographs that have been taken during the Parkette.
9.3, the judges saw it. Here's Amy Borsellino for the North Stars Gymnastics Academy in the age 14 category.
Huge reverse heck to start. These girls are just getting a lot of height in these moves, which is great to see.
Finished 4th all around here at the Parkettes a year ago.
Amy's combining some pirouetting along with her release moves. Setting up for the dismount, half turn double front. Hips landed a little bit behind her, which caused that step backwards. Right here, half turn. Needed her chest just a little bit more forward to stick the landing.
Amy Borsellino, 9.275, say the judges, on the uneven parallel bar.